Good afternoon and welcome to World Championship Boxing and a taste of snooker. Of course, the Lloyd Honeyghan-Don Curry fight that happened in the early hours of this morning in Atlantic City dominates our program, but we will keep faith with our snooker viewers and bring them up to date with this afternoon's tie, which is between Neil Foles and the newest professional, Kenny Owers. But now our attention is firmly focused on the British and Commonwealth champion Lloyd Honeyghan's bid to unseat the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Don Curry, an aristocrat of the ring who has decorated its canvas with sheer artistry. Of course, Honeyghan has impressive credentials too, skill, power, and an unbeaten record. And watching the fight with me in our Belfast studio is Barry McGuigan. And Barry knows how difficult it is to win a world title fight against an American in America. Well, Don Curry comes to this defense undefeated, having left a trail of destruction in his wake, and he knows all about celebrations. Crushing victory in 2 rounds over the WBC champion Milton McCrory to secure the undisputed crown.
Referee doesn't score if we do have to go to 12 rounds, but we worry about... Oh, the left hook. He can't get up from that one, surely. He hit the deck, his head hit the back as well. Midway through the second, the legs are unbuckled completely. He's going to get the mandatory 8, but I'm not sure Mills Lane... Yes, he will let it go on, but that was all over. He just walked in and helped himself to a great right-hand punch.
Despite that terrifying power, Honeyghan's manager remained confident about his chances.
Certainly one of the most dedicated boxers I've been involved with. I don't know of anybody who trains harder for a fight than he does. For 6 weeks before a fight, he turns himself into a hermit. He goes to the gym and he goes on the road to run and he eats, and the rest of the time he spends in a room isolated with a television set, and he'll watch TV and go to sleep.
I think it should be a good fight. I don't think it's going to be one-sided. I come here to win. I don't come here to mess around.
Lloyd Honeyghan has got the toughest fight he's ever had in his whole career, and equally, Donald Curry has the toughest fight he's had in his whole career. This is, in my mind, undoubtedly the toughest opponent that Donald Curry has fought to date.
So much then for the pre-match build-up and hype. Let us go ringside at Caesars and join our commentators Jim Watt and Reg Guthrie.
So there's the entrance then, the trumpets, and the head down for Lloyd Honeyghan, who wants total concentration in this wine-coloured sequin gown, and led in by Mickey Duff, of course, and behind him the former featherweight champion Bobby Neal. So it's a short walk from the dressing rooms, actually, to the ringside here at Caesars in Atlantic City for the first World Championship to be staged in this Circus Maximus showroom. There he comes, carrying the WBA and WBC belts there. One of the entourage, and Akbar Mohammed on the right-hand side, his advisor. And there's no question about it, now is 7 defences of the championship, and one of the best fighters, Sugar Ray Leonard, says weight for weight in the world today. And I'm not going to argue with Leonard on that score. So the Lone Star Cobra then from Texas. So as I was saying, Jim, now you can imagine the butterflies in the stomach probably of Honeyghan or not. Now you sparred with him a bit, and that wasn't that long ago, really.
Yeah, well, the thing that sticks in my mind about Honeyghan is how difficult it is to catch him with clean punches. He has the reflexes of a cat. He can actually do everything that Donald Curry can do, but we're about to find out tonight if he can do it as well as Don Curry. That's the big doubt.
So there's the rundown of the rules there. No standing 8 counts, and if one boxer goes down 3 times in a round, that rule is not in effect, because this is World Boxing Council. The statistics, as always, and they came in at the same weight, 10 stone, 6.5.
the evening, scheduled for 12 rounds for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. The referee for this bout is Octavio Meiran. Introducing first, in the red corner, he's wearing the multicolored trunks and weighs 146.5 pounds. His professional record, an unblemished one, 27 consecutive victories, 15 by KO. He is ranked #1 in the world in the welterweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, from London, England, let's have a hand for Lloyd Honeyghan. And his opponent in the blue corner, weighing 146.5 pounds in the red trunks with gold trim, undefeated, 25-0, 20 by KO. He's from Fort Worth, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated, undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Donald the Lord Starling.
So the referee there, Octavio Meiran of Mexico, just giving them the final rundown. He's refereed fights in Britain, but he's kept it short, and what a good idea that is, because they've got enough to worry about, and they should know the rules by now. WBC 12-round distances, because Honeyghan is the #1 contender, and it's a mandatory defense by Curry, his 8th of this welterweight championship. Both came in at 10 stone 6.5, and at the introductions, I must say, Lloyd Honeyghan looked as relaxed as you would expect for such a big event as this one. The first world championship in this showroom at Caesars in Atlantic City. So now let's see whether the European champion, the unbeaten Honeyghan, can prove mobile, as manager Mickey Duff has been saying, that he thinks he'll give Curry his most difficult fight so far. And my verbal sparring partner here, the former world champion Jim Watt, has actually sparred with Honeyghan, not for this fight of course, but some time ago, and he's emphasizing how difficult he is to hit. So having said that, of course, we've marveled occasionally at this sort of gunfighter technique of Curry, the way he stands in front of an opponent, daring him, even though he's a good puncher, to throw punches so that he can strike with his nickname Cobra with a counter. Well, he's coming out sharp and confident, Jim Honeyghan, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Honeyghan is the one who wants to find confidence, I'm sure. He's never lacked confidence in the past. He's undefeated. But he's facing a man people are hailing as a superstar. So if he can get himself a good start in the first round, it'll give himself a lot of confidence. And this is a good, sharp start from Honeyghan.
So he's trying to dazzle Curry anyway with the sequin trunks, Honeyghan. So we wonder now with the arguments or the debate sometimes whether Curry can still get down to the 10 stone 7 pound division and retain all the strength, and they say he has to work hard to do it, but he keeps doing it. Off the right hand there, a bit long there, that one from Curry. Just trying to feint a bit there, Curry, to draw Honeyghan's lead and counter. He's got that hunter's patience all the time, Curry gives the impression, Jim.
Yeah, he gives the impression that as though he's ready to strike at any second, and that grinds and wears down some of his opponents. He's always directly in front of them, yet so difficult to land with clean punches himself, although Honeyghan is doing very well at this stage. What I admire about Honeyghan is the way he's come out and try and take the fight a bit to Curry in the opening round. He hasn't got on the fight at all.
So in Curry's corner there, as I say, he's a 25 on the run, unbeaten. And he's actually parting for the man who's got him in the glasses there, Dave Corman. He's staying with him for a couple of more fights, and then he's moving camps apparently. Won the vacant championship from a Korean. That was when Sugar Ray Leonard gave up the title in '83. But he took a count in that one against the Korean. There it is. Just give you another bit of information there. He does it early, doesn't he? He's one of his favourite sayings is walk softly, carry a big stick. So there's Honeyghan now. As I say, also unbeaten. You can't knock that. So they get the buzzer or the whistle to get the seconds out of the ring for round 2. And a very encouraging start by Lloyd Honeyghan. 6 years a pro, remember, and defeated the #1 Horace Shepherd to get this mandatory defence by Curry. Well, that's a punch Honeyghan's going to remember for a long time, and certainly Curry is. What a good shot, Jim.
That was a perfect right-hand punch. And Curry is in trouble. Curry's backing off. When have you ever seen Curry backing off like this before? Badly hurt there, a tremendous punch. That will give Honeyghan all the confidence he needs. He's looking for the repeat now.
Dare he stand and trade with Curry? He can afford to at this stage with that punch going in. He's reminded the world champion that this is not an easy one, and manager Mickey Duff with Honeyghan said before the fight it would be his toughest fight, and at this point it is. So the old-fashioned 1-2, the left hand followed by the right again there by Honeyghan. He's coming out amateur training there from the South London Fisher Club those days. That's where he took up boxing. Oh, he doubled up the left hook a little bit there, Curry, though. A little more authority in that one. Well, that one's going to be marked down for a long time, Jim. That one right hand of Honeyghan, can he do it again?
That's the punch that's going to give Honeyghan all the confidence in the world. But he knows, we were speaking about Superman before the contest, but now Honeyghan knows he has the power to upset and seriously hurt him. So that's just exactly what he needs, especially early in the contest, the second round.
Well, Bobby Neal certainly helped Alan Minter in coaching him for World Championships. Can he do it again with Honeyghan? He's just joined him in recent months. Oh, trying it again, Honeyghan, right at the end of the round. He's got half a minute to do it. And Curry hasn't been shaken up like this, I shouldn't think, since his amateur days. 9 years since he's lost the contest. So running out of time in the second, Honeyghan, but there's a lot of authority in his punching, and Curry knows it.
Give me water, dude. Give me some water. Give me water.
So I don't know why the Mexican referee went over there to Curry's corner. That's a bit unusual. Meanwhile, he's collecting. Let's have a look at the replay now, Jim. There's the right hand.
A cracking right hand, yeah. Curry did well to keep up right then, but for the rest of the round, all the authoritative work was coming from Honeyghan, and Curry finished the round in severe trouble. He seemed concussed. That was a perfect shot. Very surprised that Curry didn't go over. He managed to get himself back into the round again, but never troubled Honeyghan at all. And right at the end of the round, Honeyghan caught him with another couple of shots and had him all over the place.
Up early from the stool there again in round 3. Honeyghan had to be held off by the referee almost. What an encouraging start for the British European champion. Won all 3 championships against Sylvester Mitty last November. Well, it's not a question of whether Curry may or may not be weight weakened. It's whether he can take the punches from Honeyghan. I don't think that is part of the business now, really, Jim, with Curry.
There's a little change in the eyes. Honeyghan looks like the hunter now, and Curry looks like the hunted. You can see that a little bit of hesitation in Curry's eyes. He knows he needs a bit of success. He has to discourage Honeyghan a bit. But how he's going to do that, I don't know, because Honeyghan's really rolling now.
I certainly underestimated Honeyghan's confidence coming into the ring. Having seen him, as I say, right back since his boys club and junior days, I wondered whether he might freeze a bit. But I'm wrong, and I'm pleased to say it too.
We haven't seen the viciousness in Curry's punches that we've come to expect. Part of that is probably because Honeyghan's kept him on the defensive, and Honeyghan is always difficult to hit with clean punches because of the reflexes he has.
And you can certainly say that with authority enough, Jim, apart from being a ex-world champion yourself, by having sparred frequently with Lloyd Honeyghan. A bit of anxiety coming from the champion's cornermen, saying pick the pace up now. At the moment, he can only do what Honeyghan will let him do. Oh, they were tough punches to the body. That's the first time, Jim, that Curry's got through with some chops that really looked as though they may have hurt Honeyghan. He's tried to claim a little bit. Hang on a second there.
Yeah, and Curry knows that too. Curry's looking for another one.
But he came back well with a left hook there, Honeyghan. Yeah, he's shooting that little jab, uppercut to the body there, Curry. So that's where fitness really counts in this game now, is to be able to absorb the punches to the body.
Take a shot off him, you're well prepared for that, aren't you? You understand? That's the main thing.
When you step back, step back, cover. Take the shot back.
Put the pressure on.
So let's have a look at that replay now. As you see, they're the body shots coming in from Curry. That was a good spell from the champion there, and Honeyghan was quite pleased to hang on, but he came back at the end of the round. Coming out then for the fourth of a scheduled 12 for the World Welterweight Championship, WBC version. And a good start by Honeyghan, but midway through that third round, Don Curry just reminding him that that's why he's unbeaten for 9 years and 7 defences.
Most of Curry's previous opponents have been standing off and throwing one punch at a time. I think the reason Honeyghan's been so successful is putting punches together and keeping Curry on his back foot, but Curry had that little bit of success which he badly needed to get his own confidence back in where it should be.
I think Curry's too much of a good pro to underestimate somebody, but I suspect he might have done there, and he ran onto that left hook. Honeyghan certainly listening to the advice of the cornermen there, Messrs. Duff and Neal, to keep the head rolling a bit. He's taken a couple of Curry's best shots to the body. Well, certainly so far, Curry's lived up to all he promised that he would do, Jim. I wonder whether he was just sort of whispering in the dark a bit, as sometimes boxers do, but he's carried out what he said he would.
Yeah, well, see, I think the big difference, Honeyghan's going into the fight knowing it's going to be a real tough fight, whereas maybe Curry beginning to think there's nobody in the welterweight division to trouble him. Therefore, his attitude wasn't right, a little bit lethargic, if you like, in the first couple of rounds. But Curry, at all times, is looking for big shots, whereas Honeyghan is keeping more fluent in his move. There goes the big right hand from Curry again. He's looking for this all the time.
They started to open up a bit more, Curry. But he's bobbing, weaving Honeyghan the whole time now, trying to stay away from him. If he can just keep a fair distance from that right hand, by the time it reaches us, some of the sting's gone, not all of it. No doubt about it, Jim. Honeyghan's fought a smart fight in this first 4 rounds, hasn't he? He's done the right things most of the time. Of course, you get hit against good fighters anyway.
He certainly has. I was speaking to Mickey Duff the other day. He reckoned that if the fight was pretty close after 6 rounds, then Honeyghan had a great chance, because everybody knows Curry's been struggling to make welterweight for quite some time, and it's going to be very close after 6 rounds if it goes on like this.
Be better. You're doing great.
No work. It's going to good. It's going to good.
You're in beautiful shape. Your body's really good. Take
And you feel good, right? Good. That's it, lad.
So coming out for the 5th, and Curry remained on the stool, Jim, you notice, right until the last second, whereas Honeyghan came up on the 10-second whistle. So they've been doing their best to pump confidence into Honeyghan in between rounds there, but I tell you, he hasn't really needed it. Caught him there again, and his legs are starting to disobey him a bit. And Honeyghan knows it. He's going to try and plant that right hand again. And if he does it, I think this is probably the upset. I nearly was going to say of the century, but certainly close to it, Jim.
Yeah, well, it's got him all over the place again. Honeyghan has been troubling Curry a lot more with his punches than what we expected. A great round for Honeyghan here.
Imagine that was going through Curry's mind. What's going on here? They didn't tell me this fellow was as good as this. And he's bleeding from the mouth now, the champion. And Honeyghan getting a fair share of support from what seems like some London supporters on the stage here at Caesars. Oh. Good round indeed now. Midway through the 5th for Honeyghan. No way has Curry been in trouble in any of his fights as he is in this one. So he can get a bit right hand happy there, Honeyghan, and get away with it. Jim?
This has been a tremendous round for Honeyghan. He's never made a mistake. He's never taken a decent punch in return. He's had Curry all over the place. Curry's legs are not looking good at all. He doesn't have any power in his own work. This has been a tremendous round for Honeyghan. This round and the next, if Honeyghan just keeps what he's doing for the next round, I don't see that Curry can come back. A good left hook from Curry, but no conviction in his work so far.
Laying on a bit inside now. That's why the Mexican referee is getting between them. What a good round for Honeyghan this has turned out. And I think for a change, in fact not for a change, for the first time in his life, Curry's pleased to hear the bell. Well, they'll have to work really hard there in the champion's corner. Now, replay there. There was the right hand. It was long, but it got the message. No matter how far it travelled, Curry got the message. The overhead look at this replay, Jim, now, the right hand coming in.
Yeah, bang on the button. And again, Curry lucky to keep upright. Honeyghan is boxing tremendously well, far better than I expected.
So coming up for the sixth, just getting some of the water off Honeyghan there. I think he can slip punches without any aids. And he looks as though he's going to carry on where he left off, Jim, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's really got his shoe on the road. He's got far more confidence at this stage in the fight than he even dreamed he would have. Everything's going his way. He's only taken one good shot in the whole of the fight. He's troubled Curry a few times. So there's no reason now why he shouldn't fully believe in himself that he's going to pick up the title.
Well, I tell you, the Texan gunfighter's in a bit of trouble here. That was a question of having shot the bolt, really, but he's just misfiring the whole time. Not the whole time, but by his standards. When you think how he stood and out-punched Colin Jones, who's noted for his punching power, murdered Milton McCrory, knocked out his last challenger, Edwin Rodriguez, a tough man. See, he's looking for openings the whole time now, Honeyghan. He's got Curry on the defense.
Curry's caught on the eye edge. Left eye,
Curry's cut under the left eye. So not only pride being hurt, but body as well. And the referee stopping to have a look at that. Is he going to call a doctor? No. Shouldn't really wipe it away with his hand, I would have thought. It's just above the eye. It's in an awkward position, that cut, Jim.
Yeah. It's in a position it could get far worse. Curry landed a good overhand right. Bang on target, caught Honeyghan a bit high, but didn't trouble him in the least, which is good news.
Well, I tell you, at this stage of the game, you fancy saying, well, we should start lighting the beacons, I think, for a Britain to become a world champion, because he really has dictated the last two rounds anyway, and he started off well enough as well.
Any shots that Curry does land, Honeyghan's taken them high on the forehead. He hasn't taken a clean punch in the chin all night long.
And there's lots of oohs and ahs there from the American crowd as Honeyghan lays into the champion. He's just got to have that professional's care a bit now, Honeyghan. He's got this championship well within his grasp, and he mustn't make mistakes. And he looks so weary, shaking his head as he goes back to the corner there. And I'm wondering if it all could be over as the doctor comes in as well. And there's a lot of consternation there in the corner. You can see the referee looking over. And it looks as though they're sending for a second opinion. Another doctor coming in. As we look at the replay there, well, it may have been a head clash, who knows, that caused it. And he's become champion of the world, Honeyghan. And he's just thrown himself across the ring. Mickey Duff's lying on the floor with him. It is really incredible, because that is one of the biggest turn-ups, I'm going to say it, in the history of boxing, because Don Curry, let's face it, was unbeaten and looked unbeatable. And this fellow, Lloyd Honeyghan from London, really did the business in every way, and I've never seen such a joyous scene at an end of a fight as you will with that one. And it looks as though the doctors have stopped it, or they could have even retired him in the corner. And we knew, Jim, at the end of that round, the way Curry was looking, that he didn't want to go on with that fight, whatever the extent of the injury.
Nothing to do with the injury. Curry's heart was out of the fight. He's been hurt all night long. Tremendous performance from Honeyghan. The official decision or verdict may be cut-eye decision, but forget that. Honeyghan proved he was the better man all night long, no trouble at all. It was the boss from start to finish, and you'll have to look at Curry's face. He knows it as well as Honeyghan does.
Well, this is a time of my life when it's a pleasure to say I couldn't have been more wrong, as they say, because I really didn't think Honeyghan could get it together to beat this fellow Curry like that. And it's a pleasure to say you're wrong under those circumstances, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, delighted. When we reckoned Curry was a superstar, we watched him against Colin Jones and other top-class fighters. We knew Honeyghan be undefeated, had the arrogance of an undefeated fighter, but we weren't sure it was in the same league. See, here we go again.
See, that's where they met together. I don't know whether he's claiming that was the clash that caused the cut or not.
But I tend to forget about the cut. Honeyghan was the better man tonight, and he's a champion because he was the better man.
So there they are then, putting the WBC belt around Honeyghan's waist.
Over the left thigh, stops the bout at the end of the 6th round. The winner by technical knockout and new undisputed welterweight champion of the world from London, England, Lloyd Honeyghan.
So that was it, an official stoppage there by the referee on the advice of 2 doctors. And Honeyghan there, the undisputed world champion. It's, I tell you, I still can't really believe my eyes, and I know Curry can't believe what's happened to him.
Well, how exciting. We've just witnessed a supreme performance by Lloyd Honeyghan, and just to show you how emphatic it was, all 3 judges gave him 4 of those rounds. Now, Curry's injuries, well, the cut-eye required 20 plastic stitches. He's got a broken nose, that's confirmed by X-ray, and he required a stitch in the lower lip. His reaction, he said it was an accidental butt that caused the injury, but he was not complaining about it. He said he knew something was wrong before he even got into the ring. He said he felt no zap at all in his dressing room. He said that Honeyghan is a very good fighter. He could hold the title for some time. As far as Curry is concerned, he said he will be coming back to the ring, but not at 10 stone 7, not at a welterweight, so there will be no rematch. We've had a call from Colin Jones, who suggests that, of course, Colin was well beaten by Don Curry, who said that if Honeyghan would fight him, then he would be happy to take the match. Well, we've seen an incredible performance. It's virtually impossible to believe that any British boxer has performed more in one fight. We'll get Lloyd Honeyghan's reaction to that stunning victory and also the views of the former world champion Barry McGuigan right after the break. And welcome back. Well, I'm sure, like me, you're still breathless after that wonderful performance by Lloyd Honeyghan, now one of only 2 undisputed champions in the world. The other one is Marvin Hagler. That is a heady thought, isn't it? After escaping the frenzy of excitement in the ring at Atlantic City, the new world champion talked to Reg Guttridge, and he was in no doubt how Curry's cut-eye had occurred.
It was a punch, because you see, inside, I was throwing this, I switched the circle, because I knew I can do it, and Bobby says, Lloyd, well, you're wasting your talent, man, like I've been saying. Switch the southpaw when you're inside and throw those little uppercut. And I throw a little uppercut, and I think it's when I came back with the left foot, or Mickey been telling me to come back with all week, all those weeks up the gym in the Catskills, and I wasn't throwing it because I felt so good. Today, all week we've been feeling so good. I sit down in my bedroom with Bobby, we go for a walk, and I said to him, this is like I'm walking in Brixton, this is like I'm walking on Walworth Road, this is like I'm sitting in my front room. It didn't come like I was going to have a fight. I was telling everyone.
I mean, considering he had been beaten for, what, 8, 9 years?
Yeah, since he was 16 years old.
When did you feel when you got in the ring that you could do it? At what point? When you nailed him with that first right hand?
In the first round, man, because Donald Curry showed me respect in the first round. He showed me respect. And
after the first round.
And the first round, that was it. After the first round, I knew I had the fight won because I thought Don was going to come and start throwing bombs that he usually do. But once he knew that I knew that he was going to do, so he didn't. And once he'd done that, I knew I had the fight won.
Well, I'll tell you, it's such a marvellous upset. There's going to be a lot of excitable people in Britain when they see this now.
Yeah, say that again.
And, well, I hope if you've won it in America, I dare say you're going to defend it in America, but you might finish up doing it in Britain, eh?
No, we may. There's no place like home at the end of the day. He's proved he can win abroad. We may well do it in London.
I plan to come to America to win the world title, but I've done that now, so my fans in London will believe me. Now I can give them a chance to see Lloyd Honeyghan defend his world championship.
Great. Well, congratulations to everybody concerned, the manager, the trainer, Bobby Neal, and
thank you, Bobby.
Best of all you. Thank you.
Well, listening to that and having watched the fight in Belfast is Barry McGuigan. Barry, let me get your reaction first of all about the fight itself.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that that was a marvellous achievement. He went there, he went into the Lions Den, and he won the title. I mean, undisputed champion, fantastic stuff. He took the fight to the champion from the very start. He took the play away from him. He done exactly the right thing. He's a guy that oozes with confidence. Ever since he was a 6th-round fighter, he's always oozed confidence. And, you know, fair play to him. It was a fantastic performance. One of the best performances I've ever seen.
Were you surprised how easy it was to hit Curry?
Well, Curry looked a wee bit drawn when he went into the fight, but that's not taken away from Lloyd's performance. In fact, I was probably one of the people who predicted that he had a great chance of winning. Curry had everything to lose because of the fact that he was undisputed champion. Nobody rated Honeyghan as a challenger at all, and he went in there and he done what was necessary to win the title, and it was absolutely brilliant.
There are conflicts of opinion how the cut was caused, Barry. As you heard, Don Curry said it was an accidental butt, but of course Honeyghan said it was a punch. You can have a look at it now.
Yeah,
see
well,
what you
it looked to be an accidental butt there, but it was far down on his face, and so it's very difficult to tell from this angle. And having watched it 3 or 4 times, I'm not quite sure whether it was a butt or a punch, but it was irrelevant anyway. The fact was that Curry was never in the fight. It was Honeyghan's fight from the very beginning, and he's the champion now, and that's what counts. And he beat the guy hands down. Marvellous performance, fantastic stuff.
Gary has said that he's a good champion too, and he'll hold the title for a long time. Would you agree with that?
I have no doubt about that. He's a great champion. He's very dedicated. He trains very hard, and I think he'll be champion for a long time.
Will it inspire you now to go back and win a world title, Barry?
It certainly gives me the old itch again. I'd like to get back in there maybe in the new year. I'm not going to make a decision until the new year, but I'd love to go back at it again.
Any decision, let me ask you this, any decision, would that be taking into consideration the fact that perhaps there's not the unity in your camp that there has been? One hears that Barney's not happy with things, and I've just heard that Eddie Shaw has gone out this morning. What's the situation there?
Well, I'd rather not comment on that. There's been enough controversy so far. But I'll make my decision in the new year somewhere.
But would you say that he's Lloyd Honeyghan, getting back to him, his next fight should be in this country?
Well, it's up to him himself. They've said there in the interview afterwards that they would either defend in America or defend at home. It makes no difference. This guy is very good. He's very talented. He's very underrated, and I think he can be a champion for a long time. And I think whether he boxes in Britain or boxes in America, it makes no difference. This was going to be a star.
Well, we all feel very proud of him. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Barry. It's been a pleasure to have your company.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it for the moment as far as boxing is concerned. We can bring you...